the least qualified people are, the more willing they seem to go for it in a business like this. And it just seems nuts to me that all of this experience that many OTs have got already, even as new grad, is often wasted because they just think they're not good enough.
Hi, I'm Becky Eekins, business mindset and lifestyle coach for occupational therapists. I focus on creating a freedom-based online business, helping OTs to package up their skills in unique and exciting offers that feel so good that they sell with ease in the online space. Since leaving the profession of OT, I have now worked with hundreds of clients online, helping them to create a life they feel inspired by. In this podcast, I will talk about the lifestyle goals, mindset, and strategy you need to create your own life of freedom.
Just speaking to those today who want to start a business but feel that they need more experience or qualifications before they will get started. And let me speak into this because I hear it on repeat. And who do you think I hear it from the most? And you've probably guessed it. Yes, it's the most experienced, the most skilled and qualified people who say this more than anybody else. It's crazy. So years ago, when I was supporting more mainstream clients, and by that I mean that they were not occupational therapists, they were not therapists. In fact, many of them had just completed a 12-week course or something like that in coaching, maybe a year's course. And those people in general had more confidence to go for it than my OT clients. It was interesting. And they didn't have the same amount of confidence as my OT clients when it actually came to working with people. There were a lot more fears discussed about the actual work, but I'm talking about putting themselves across on social media and actually launching out and selling things. They just seem to be more confident. And basically, I observed from all of the chats I've had with various different people over the years that the least qualified people are, the more willing they seem to go for it in a business like this. And it just seems nuts to me that all of this experience that many OTs have got already, even as new grads, is often wasted because they just think they're not good enough. So I've heard all sorts of things. OTs saying, I'm not experienced enough yet. And sometimes, yes, some of them have got less than 2 years experience, but some people have said this to me with 10 years or 12 years experience. I'm a new grad, I can't do it, or I'm new to this clinical area. And you just hear it over and over again that people feel that they need more certifications before they're actually ready to set up in business. And you'll be just more experienced than you realize. And I think as OTs, we just train so very carefully to not practice outside our scope of practice, to keep maintaining professional development, to provide evidence-based practice. And all of this is obviously really important. And we need a profession that's constantly expanding and evolving, and that we're up to date and we're relevant. So it's all important. But the big cost to this is that we've developed fears based on this. So we've internalized fears that we're not good enough as we are. And what happens is these brand new coaches coming out of the industry, who some of them have done even less than a 12-week coaching qualification. I've seen courses out there for $5 and all sorts of different levels of courses. And yet they're braver than the occupational therapists who've got years of study and experience. Very often, even if it was while they were studying, we still got more experience than some of these brand new coaches. But not only are they braver than us, they're often paid more for that. They're often more successful in terms of being able to get clients and charge higher prices. And we're just there in the background. If we're not careful, we're there in the background because we're so busy seeking more and more qualifications before we feel ready to put ourselves out there. So there's something fundamentally wrong with this, and it is the most qualified among us that do this the most. So I would love to think that qualifications really just help make you a better therapist, and they're going to expand your thinking, and there's some truth in that. There is absolutely some truth in that. But very often, while we're stuck hiding behind books and theories and qualifications, those others, they're getting real experience, and that real experience can actually make them go further. And after meeting lots of OTs who've been gathering skills for over a decade, I did realize that confidence, it doesn't come from just obtaining more qualifications. So yes, it can be a helpful piece, but the real work that needs to be done is internal. The work needs to be done on you and your self-belief rather than just adding yet another course, yet another book, and putting off the time of when you actually are ready to step into your power. I recorded a mindset meditation, one that you can do overnight. Very powerful in terms of helping you create the confidence, the self-belief, and deal with any money mindset issues. I use these kind of overnight meditations all the time. I found them incredibly powerful. So I've created a very special one, and I'm giving it for free to all of my podcast listeners. You can download it on the show notes. And I often think that most OTs have got the skills they already need to set up most businesses. It's occasions where there's something really specialist and you clearly don't have those skills yet. But in general, when I'm speaking to people, mostly we are already qualified for what we want to do. So the skills that you very often think you need are in actual fact just desired. They're not actually needed. And there's nothing better than constantly learning. I mean, I know this. I'm always getting new qualifications. My latest study is I'm learning how to be a conscious breathwork facilitator. So I'm studying with a really fantastic breathwork facilitator who's located in Bali. And, I love that. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I didn't not start my business because I felt that I didn't have all these skills. I've just expanded and added in skills. Each year, I'll pick something else that I want an area of growth in. So we've had sales training galore in the first few years of my business, marketing, all of those different skills. And now I'm expanding into more of a spiritual growth area, and collecting skills is wonderful, and certifications. But what I'm saying is, do you really need this at the start? Because this seems to be a point where people hold themselves back and they stop themselves from stepping into their true power. And it's another way of hiding. And the other thing to say is, very often it's like when we create a website at the start of our business, nearly always a waste of time, because in the first 6 months of business, you probably almost definitely will change the way you run your business quite significantly. And it's the same when you go and seek qualifications before you start out in business. They're probably not going to be the ones you actually really want once you start the business. So it's much better just to get going and then continuously improve your skills as you're going. So just to end on taking imperfect action. So this is a phrase that I tell my clients on repeat. It's so much better to launch out with imperfect action, and that will reap stronger results in the end than sitting and waiting behind the scenes, collecting more certifications, reading more books, and waiting for perfection. Because realistically, that's never going to come. Whenever I'm speaking to my clients about launching out, they're never ready. It always kills them. I always see pain across the face as I'm encouraging them to go for it, and I love that because that's the point of growth. That's the point when we push ourselves, and we learn so much more by taking action. And I know that's not what you want to hear, because taking a course and saying, right, I'm going to create a business, and first of all, I'm going to do this course, and then I'm going to do that. That is such a safe way to do business. It's going to take forever, because you'll never get the confidence from hiding in these safe places. But it's beautiful to be learning, and I can totally see why people just want to do it. But realistically, do you need this extra qualification that you say you do, or are you just delaying the success of your business because in actual fact, you're afraid to do the thing that's going to bring success? So I'll leave you with that one.
If you are an OT with 3 to 10 hours per week spare, then the OT Yourself to Freedom membership is best for you. It will teach you how to create a business, an online freedom style business, but in an affordable way. And this is best for those of you who haven't got the time to really go for it. If you have the time to go for it and you want to achieve bigger results in a short space of time, what you're looking for is the OT Freedom Collective. This is for OTs who've got 10 hours a week or more and you're just really keen to get big results. That's where you're going to be closely supported by our team for a 6-month period. It will be intensive. You'll learn everything you need to create this freedom style business. And the biggest word that people say about it is that it's life-changing.